compared to YT, Indians, Asians, even Hispanics, historically. So even in the 50s, when marriage rates was the highest, at the lowest. So it didn't make a difference how many BOK people were getting married. They still have the lowest. The reality is today in 2026, nobody wants to marry a BOK female because they have the lowest marriage rates.
I
They
don't
have
think
the least
anybody wants to
desire.
marry a BOK
Hold on.
or any other kind of female. I don't know what a female is, but
A failed female.
a failed female. And in your definition,
Yes.
who are you to sit up here and say these things? You haven't given one statistic. You're like
I literally
you're
have just
full
been
of
telling you stats.
what you said the
Did you not
lowest.
know
What
that
are the
BOK,
numbers? Where are you getting
the
these from?
lowest marriage rates, the
Where are
highest
you
marriage
getting these
rates
from?
check CDC, every stat that measures relationships is online, and it's not from just random studies. It's from .org and .gov. They measure these stats, and they've been measuring it for years. And BOK
Okay.
females, when it comes to marriage rates, is not even over 30% compared to every other nation. In the UK, it's actually worse. It's 20%. I mean, yikes.
Okay. So regardless of all that, what is your point in this whole thing? What is your point in throwing these statistics out? What are you? Are
My
you
point
a YT
is,
female? Are you
I'm,
you sure not a
I'm,
BLK female? You're very
yeah, I'm
prejudiced.
definitely am BOK. So I'm BOK, but I understand that as a collective, there's only a very small portion of BOK women who actually have their head on their shoulders, who are actually your wives, who are actually traditional or have a healthy moral compass. There's only a very small, not even a minority, a minority of BOK women who don't think like Fefails, but there's majority of BOK Fefails. And what happens is, because there's so many of you Fefails as a collective, everybody's
Okay.
looking at BOK Fefails as the degenerates they are.
So you're calling yourself a degenerate.
I never said that.
You
Like,
said
let's try.
BLK females are degenerates, and you said you are a black BLK female.
I
So you calling
literally,
yourself a
if
degenerate.
you listen to what I said there's a minority of
Oh, so you're
BOK
in the
women.
minority. So
Hold
you're
on, listen. I don't know why you're trying to make it personal. And this is the issue that I have a lot of times when talking to females. It's hard for you just to try and not make it personal and try and speak about it in a more of a broader sense. Okay? Try and take yourself out of it and actually look at it from a bigger perspective. It's not always about me or you. Like I said, a collective.
I'm
And
saying
as a collective, there are more BOK females who are degenerates.
I guess. We can go back and forth all day. You have your opinions on, you put yourself on a pedestal and say you're not like the rest of the BLK peoples. That's fine. We could talk all day to a blue in the face. I'm just trying to understand what your point of all this is. What's your point of all this? To
My
set yourself
point,
apart, to put
my
yourself
point,
on a pedestal and say you're
no, it's
not
nothing
like
to do with
them?
that. There's nothing to do with that. My point is to expose how degenerate BOK females are.
How
I need
but
people.
not you though, right?
It's not about me. Like I
No, but I'm
told you,
saying you're not a part of that though, right? You're just
not
trying
about
to
me.
separate yourself.
It's not about me. It's about a
It's
collective
about them.
of BOK females who are degenerate.
Right.
And if you take a look at the stats don't say remnant princess. It says majority of you BOK females are single moms, or you unalive your unborn babies. Oh, but she didn't want to hear that. Because you know what? None of you females can be able to prove that nobody wants to marry you failures. I get it. It's hard. Because you really thought you was the creme of the creme. Meanwhile, The only people that want you are the ones that want to clap your cheeks. The only men that ever give you attention are the ones who just pump and dump inside you. The reality is, BOK Fefails are the furthest from being traditional. See, compared to every other nation, they all know how to be women. Let's start there before they even know how to be wives. BOK Fefails don't even know how to be women. They don't even know how to function as a feminine woman. They struggle just to be feminine. Nobody wants to have to deal with a masculine man. Nobody wants to deal with a Fefail who acts like a man, talks like a man, and behaves like one. That's the issue. Is it their fault entirely? Of course it's their fault entirely. Who asks BOK Fefails to be masculine? It's 2026. Do you not know that BOK Fefails live in Western society where they have the most privilege compared to every other country? Compared to second world countries, third world countries, BOK Fefails in Western society have the most privilege, and yet they can't even be feminine? What is the alternative? Flawless Diamond said, there's no alternative. Nobody wants to. What do you mean, what's the alternative? Are you saying, like, what's the other option that men can go for? Men can go for YT, Hispanic, Indians, Asians, South Asians, East Asians, because guess what they all have in common that none of you BLK Fefails have? How come every other nation have one thing in common that BLK Fefails don't have? And I get it. It's the one word that all of you BLK Fefails don't like. They're submissive. That's one thing they all have in common. Is that they are submissive. They understand what it takes to be wives. None of you BLK Fefails know that. You do know what it takes to be in them streets, though. Flawless Diamond said, oh, because they want us. Nobody wants you, because if they did, you would be getting married. In what world did you think that people want BLK Fefails? Why is it that every time a man busts inside them, he ditches her for the streets? Is that what being wanted looks like to you? Is men just wanting to clap your cheeks and leave you in the streets? BLK Fefails get married every day. No, they don't. They actually have the least marriage rates, the lowest marriage rates. They're not getting married every day. But you know what they are getting? Their cheeks clapped every day because they have the highest AB rates. BLK Fefails have the highest AB rates. So they're not getting married, but they're definitely getting their cheeks clapped. They're definitely getting cracked by another man. Now that is for certain. They are most likely to go to the clinic, unalive their unborn baby, and go back and make another one. And just do that over and over and over again. Now that's what BLK Fefails are good at today. But when it comes to being submissive, being wives, being feminine, it's not a good look. You seem to just not know how to do any of that. It seems like BLK Fefails don't know how to do anything that's productive. That's really what it is. And when you really take a look at BLK Fefails at its entirety, they don't know what to do, that they don't know how to be able to be productive. Because they don't care. That's the truth. Total rage baiting. Your accent gives you away. My accent gives what away? Not even making any sense. It looks to me you are bitter of yourself. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with reality. The reality is, every time you see a BLK Fefail online, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, she has nothing actually good to offer to society or her community or even her God-given man. That's why BOK men are fleeing from BOK Fefails. That's why BOK men became passport bros. Because at some point, it becomes useless to be with BOK Fefail. What they will do is they will fight you just so you can have a productive household. BOK Fefails are also known for loving criminals, for loving the Pookies and the Ray Rays, for loving the bad boys. I never see South Asians talk about how they love a bad boy. I never see East Asians talk about how they love a bad boy. But BOK Fefails, they love being city girls. They love hot girl summer. They love a Pookie and a Ray Ray. They love smug dealers. I hear BOK Fefails on podcasts talking about how they loved dating a smug dealer. But in my whole entire life, I've never heard not one Asian speak like that. So when you BOK Fefails admit that you would rather indulge in degeneracy, what do you actually expect? Do you actually expect for men to want you? Do you actually expect for a man to want to marry you? Thank you, Pastels. Welcome. Because it's not making any sense. Dealers be the nicest brothers behind closed doors. It's all a facade. They're the nicest brothers, but yet they are criminals and selling smugs in their community. How does that even make any sense? How are you nice, but you're destroying your own community? It's crazy. I've never seen someone defend smug dealers before. And this is the biggest issue, right? But I get it. It's funny because a lot of the people that will defend BOK Fefails won't even marry them. They won't even marry. They won't even marry the ones that they defend. Because the truth is, even deep down, they know they don't want a BOK Fefail. Even deep down, they don't even want it. Thank you, Daylord. Is it their community they should worry about or their family? If you think that community and family are two different things, then there's an issue. There's definitely an issue. Thank you, Pastels. Nobody wants to marry a BOK Fefail. Thank you, Diana. The truth is, they are very unattractive. And I'm not talking about looks. Every time people hear attractiveness, they always instantly thinks appearance, looks. Being attracted to someone is more than just looks. It's how they act. It's who they are. It's how they carry themselves. Those things can be very attractive. And how BOK Fefails carry themselves is not attractive. It is not attractive at all. They don't carry themselves with any type of decorum in society. They do not carry themselves with any type of decorum in society. They rather have sex appeal. That's what they rather have. They rather have sex appeal. Their community is more than just family. Family is family. Listen, GD, I understand, you want to defend smug dealers. You can do that. It still doesn't change the fact that it's degenerate to be a smug dealer. I don't know where we got in this whole conversation where we are defending smug dealers and why anyone should date or marry or be with one. It's not, the conversation is not getting productive anymore. It's getting rather stupid. Queen B said, "Y'all envy the BOK women. Of course you praise the few BOK men who date outside of their race. No one envies BOK women. What is there to envy about?" It's funny that you BOK Fefails, you say these things, but you don't even tell us what it is. BOK Fefails are the blueprint of what? We envy BOK Fefails. What do we envy? tell me, what do we envy? I don't understand you. You make half backside statements. You don't make a full statement where I can actually look at it and actually make a response. What are people envious of? Because you're not telling me anything. Because I know damn well there's nothing to be envious of, a BOK Fefail, but somehow you do, Queen B. So what is it that people are envious of? Because if it was true, then we would actually see that manifest in reality. Queen B said, like I said, you didn't say nothing. You actually didn't say what people are envious of. You just said people are envious. And this is the issue. You Fefails, you make statements that you can't even finish. You make statements that you can't even finish. Maybe you're struggling to even tell me what people are envious of. If you can't even tell me what people are envious of, then it clearly doesn't exist. Nobody is envious of someone that doesn't even love their real hair, okay? Nobody is envious of someone that willingly will put glue not only on their eyelashes, but on their scalp, that will put extensions on their hair that will cause alopecia, that will relax their hair, that will give them cancer, or will put weave cut by poor people because they need money. There's nothing to be envious about when BOK Fefails can't even wake up for a whole year natural. There's a problem. There's a problem. What is it to be envious of when majority of you Fefails are more likely to get alopecia? What, are people envious of alopecia now? Are people envious of no edges? Because I'm trying to figure out what is it to be envious about. Do people want no edges now? Is that what you're saying? And the truth is, she couldn't even tell me one thing. Queen B couldn't even tell me one thing people are envious of. You can't even tell me that. Didn't even try, because the truth is, you know damn well there's nothing to be envious of. You can't grow. You can't build. Thank you, Day Lord. Thank you, boy. You can't grow. You can't build with a BOK Fefail. You can't do any of that. Because she wasn't made or taught or even wants to be a wife. She's none of those things. What she is masculine, combative, and wants to run her household. What she wants to do is to be a 304, is to be a community box, and to experience life at its highest. What she wants to do is for a man to accept all of her degeneracy. And this is it. This is why BOK Fefails have the lowest marriage rates. Because nothing about them esteems anything close to representing what a wife is. Not the way they think, not even the way they talk. Why are BOK Fefails so aggressive when they speak? They're so angry all the time, so aggressive. Thank you, the mirror. Why are BOK Fefails so aggressive? Where's this anger coming from? Is it coming from the failure? Because if it did come from failure, then I can understand that. Which I believe it comes from failure. But the worst part about it is BOK Fefails don't believe it comes from failure. Now that's the part where it's interesting to see how BOK Fefails think their anger comes from everybody else except for themselves. The anger that they have is because every other man is doing them wrong. Not the choices that you made because you are just degenerate. Not the choices that you made when you was getting your cheeks clapped and never got married. Not the choices that you made when you became a single mom. Not the choices that you made when you spent over 30 years of just working. And now you're exhausted and drained. No, none of that. Queen B, it comes across angry to you because you feel offended by the truth. Queen B, you haven't even answered my question. What are people envious of BOK Fefails? Like, you're struggling to answer this question. I'm actually worried for you. How are you going to make a statement that you can't even just, say? Give me one example, dude. It comes across angry to you because you feel offended by the truth. You haven't even mentioned anything to be talking about the truth. Married 25-year-old to a wonderful BOK man, Humney. You're talking about yourself. What does you and your nyash have to do with the conversation? Did I ask you what you do with your nyash? Or am I asking you, what are people envious of when it comes to BOK Fefails, Queen B? I don't care what you do with your nyash. I don't care what you do with your wigs. I want my question answered, and you are struggling. You are struggling to prove your own point. You was better off just not saying nothing, because right now it seems like you don't even have the answer to what you even said. Obviously, you do. Oh, here comes the gingerbread man. Queen B, welcome.
Thank you, darling. Welcome to you too. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of people that's always talking down or bad about black women, but you act like you want to be a black woman. Every black man that I know,
Say BLK,
family,
please.
be it friend, be it co-worker, is married to a BLK woman. You have those that have preferences, and they are well within their right to have that preference. But I know a whole lot of BLK men who would never even date outside of their race.
Okay then. So do you know millions of BLK men?
Do you know millions of them that don't?
I know stats that have recorded millions of results.
We're not talking stats. I'm talking facts.
Well, I'm
not
talking
about what the world is talking about. I'm
no, but
talking
that's
about
but hold on.
hold on.
I asked you a simple question. Do you know millions of BLK men?
And I asked you the same question. Do you know
No. You can't answer a question with a question, Queen B. It's not hypocritical. Okay then, what source? All right then, so what source do you have to back up that BLK Fefails are getting? Hold on. Okay then, no, that's not a fact. If you can't be able, see, this is the aggressiveness that I was talking about with BLK Fefails. They get very aggressive.
Oh, girl, please.
They're very aggressive.
You getting aggressive with me? I'm supposed to do what?
I'm not getting aggressive with you. I'm asking you a simple question. I'm not even getting aggressive with you.
And I just
no, I asked you a simple question. Okay then. So I asked you. But I have stats that have.
You don't know a million people either. So why would you expect me to know one because I'm a black woman? Because you want to make another point about a black woman and very well educated. Okay.
Say BLK.
A lot of other educated BLK women.
Okay, so I'm gonna respond now. So, you don't know millions of BLK men, and you have no source to back up your claims. Hold on, listen.
Don't have a source.
Why are you interrupting me, Queen B? If you're gonna say something, I'm gonna let you speak, but then I want to be able to respond.
Girl, I'm not.
Do you have something you want to say?
I'm just telling you what I know.
Okay, then. So I'm going to speak. Okay, so you said you don't know.
Goodbye.
You can't prove
Thank you.
nothing.
You don't have
Exactly.
to
You
speak
can't
about
prove
anything else.
nothing.
guys
You
are
can't
jealous.
prove
You're-
nothing. Nobody's jealous of someone that wears a ginger wig. Okay? Nobody is jealous of someone that wears a ginger wig that you wash in your sink. Nobody is jealous of BOK Fefails who can't even be natural. The reality is you're triggered, you're very aggressive, and you can't prove what you're saying.
You can't
I pray
prove
for
what
that.
you're
I
saying,
pray.
so that's why
I pray for that
you just
husband of
did-
yours.
you
I
just
pray
tried
for
to
that
shut
husband
the
of
black
yours
woman up.
because
You don't gotta pray for him, baby. We
I
pray
don't
for
know
him
how
every
he's
night.
dealing.
You ain't gotta
I
pray
don't
for
know
my
how he's
husband 'cause
dealing
he
with
loves
you.
his woman,
I
his
don't know how
black
he's dealing with you
woman.
because you
Well,
can't
you don't
even be
have a
able to
husband,
prove what you're
obviously.
saying. You can't even
That's
prove
okay, dear.
what
You
you're
don't. I
saying.
can prove what I just said was not all.
I'm trying to have a conversation, but every time I speak, you get triggered. That's all I want is a conversation. But what
does
happens
triggered
is,
even mean?
well, if you just let me, I want to make my
What
response.
happens is y'all try to poke the bear and then you get mad
Am
when
I
they
allowed?
wake
I'm not
up. That's
poking
what
the bear.
happens.
I'm just, I made a simple statement, okay? You don't know millions of BLK men. And she dropped because she can't prove what she's saying. And they get triggered. I asked her a simple question. Simple question. Do you know millions of BLK men? No. Do you have a source to prove your claims? I'm speaking facts, but you have no source. So you're just speaking emotionally. Just say, you know what? I don't know the stats. I don't know the stats. Just say that. Just say, I don't know the stats. No, I wanted to have a conversation with her, Moses. That's the truth. I wanted to have a conversation. When she came on, I was calm and asked her a simple question because I want to have a logical conversation as much as possible. I know people get used to the crash out, but I'm trying to have a conversation with these Fefails, but they always crash out. And I'm not going to lie, when you crash out, I'm going to get petty back. Because it don't make sense for you to crash out and think I'm just going to take it. So yeah, I told her about herself. But the whole point was to have a conversation. What source do you have to claim that BLK men are marrying BLK Fefails? The only thing she was able to say is from my experience, from the men that she knows. Then that's not millions. That's not the majority. So you can't prove anything. And the truth is, I asked her another question in the comments. She said people are envious of BLK women. So I asked her, what are people envious of these BLK Fefails? Because this is what a lot of Fefails do. They will make these statements, but won't really even explain to you what it is. They won't really break it down for you. Or they won't even give you any type of source for you to look at or understand where these statements come from. That's how that started. When I asked her, tell me, what are people envious of BLK Fefails? Till now, even when she came up, she couldn't answer that question. And you know I wanted to have a conversation when I didn't even tell her to address the prompt. And I'm usually strict about that. But you know what? I let her speak. And what happens is they get triggered because she realized, see, this is what happens a lot of time. BLK Fefails realize they actually can't prove what they're saying. And that's possibly the worst place you can be. You can't prove that anyone's envious of failure. You can't prove that they're the blueprint. You can't prove that people are marrying them. You can't prove that they're having healthy households. You can't prove that they are not promiscuous. You can't prove that they don't love their hair, that they do love their hair. All of these things that they say, they can't prove it. And so they get triggered. See, BOK Fefails don't like their dirty laundry being exposed. They want to do everything in the dark. They want to do everything when you begin to expose how degenerate these BOK Fefails actually are, when you begin to actually break it down and actually take a look at how they are and how they act, they don't like it. See, BOK Fefails want to be the blueprint. BOK Fefails want people to be envious of them, but there's nothing there. Like the blueprint of what? Other than degeneracy. BOK Fefails have not created one thing in society that is actually conducive, that actually will help people, that actually gives you knowledge, wisdom. BOK Fefails teach each other how to find tricks. Another way of saying a man that's gonna buy your coochie. BOK Fefails would rather teach people how you can get a trick to spend money on you. They rather listen to Shira 7 tell them how they can get a trick to spend money on them. They rather teach BOK Fefails how to plaster their face with makeup, because that's the new beauty standard for BOK Fefails. They rather teach each other how to put wigs on their head. But they won't teach you anything about what it truly means to be a wife, how to be submissive, which BOK Fefails don't even know how to be. And I'm saying the majority. Majority of BOK Fefails aren't doing that. Majority of BOK Fefails are trying to sell their nyash online, looking for the next come up, looking for the next man with the next bag. The truth is, BOK Fefails, compared to every other nation, can be easily bought. Can be easily bought. Mother Mandy said, "You were so supportive of women when I saw you on the other panel." Yeah, I'm supportive of women, just not failures. There's a difference. And I think this is where people misunderstand my point. I support traditional women. I don't support failures. No, I'm confused by the title. I understand why you're confused by the title. The title says nobody wants to marry BOK Fefails, because it is a fact and it is a reality. Nobody wants to marry the one person in society that is degenerate. No one wants to marry someone that is highly promiscuous. No one wants to marry someone that's going to combat you. Welcome, Mother Mandy.
Hey dear, welcome. How are you? I was
I'm fine, thank you.
listening. I was just listening. I was wondering, because I am a BLK woman and I don't think I fit any of those boxes you're speaking of. So are you speaking generally
Okay.
or?
Yeah, it's a general statement. Do you agree with the prompt?
I don't. But I
Okay,
also
can you
don't
elaborate
think.
why?
Well, I think BLK women are some of the most educated women in the world. I think that BLK women are also, unfortunately, some of the most celebrated and degraded women group in the world. And I do think that there is a large proportion of BLK women that make a very bad name, right? But just like any group of people, I think it's often the people who are most, the loudest are often the least worthy of the voice, right? That they carry. I don't know how to describe that, but I think like the ones who are most promoted in certain streams of media are ones that are not representing BLK women well. But I myself am a dually degreed, very well traveled, polyglot BLK woman who has 2 children, raises them, is married. I'm going through a divorce, but that's not for any reason other than, I could speak on that, but I don't think that has anything to do with me as a woman or my success. I don't marketeer men for money. I don't go in those circles, and I don't know very many women that I associate with that also function like that, right? So I think there are groups of BLK women that are very antithetical to what you're describing. And I do know in the circles I run of very well educated BLK women. I just don't think that that's a sweeping statement. I think that the media glorifies the degradation of the Black woman. I think that the media
Okay.
glorifies.
So it's interesting that you said BOK females are the most educated when that is actually just not true. Asian women are the most educated. I don't know where BOK females get this statement from or stats. I don't know where they get it from.
No, I believe that they're some of the most educated.
So no, they're not the most educated. There's no some when they're not.
Per capita?
How can some BOK females be the most educated when they're not Asian? You have to be Asian to fit that bracket.
Well, are we?
Which BOK females are not.
Clarify. Are we talking about in a Western context, like American or globally?
We're talking about Western society. So this includes US, UK, and in Europe. And in none of those areas, BOK females are the most educated.
May I ask your ethnicity?
BOK.
Okay, so I think it's interesting because you don't fall in any of the groups of which you speak.
Okay, then.
So I wonder. I guess I wonder where. I guess I wonder what is the root of the argument in the sense that.
Well, my point is that statement was completely wrong. What you said was wrong. BOK females are not the most educated. And a lot of BOK females say this. They continuously push out this lie. And it's just not true.
Well, I'm saying in the American context, there are per capita.
In the US, they're not even, even in the US, they're not the most educated. Still Asian. Asian women are running laps around BOK females when it comes to marriage, when it comes to education. I mean, looks like they're the super women. BOK females are super degenerate. Super degenerate and super women.
Hatred for yourself and the group of people that you come from.
Hatred for myself or telling the truth? I just literally gave you a fact. The fact is Asian women are doing better. So it's not hatred. Hold on, it's not hatred. It's a fact. They are doing better. They get more married. They have more healthy children. They have the least single mom rate, and they are the most educated.
Well, I think
that's not hate. That's the truth.
No, that's fair, and I understand that. And as I said, I'm a global citizen, so I understand. But there's a lot of cultural implications that don't impact the BLK community as it does the Asian community. For one, for two, I think that in terms of culture and family structure, they have a different culture. I would say that also, if you look at Asian, are we talking about East Asian, Indonesian? Are we talking about Korean? Are we talking about Chinese? Are we talking about Asia in general? I think Indian, or what are we classifying as Asian? So I think that, I don't know if, I think that to make sweeping statements like nobody wants to marry Black women or BLK women, I think it's just a very challenging, because then I just would like to know, like, what do you identify as BLK? Is that anyone who looks BLK? Is that anyone Afro-descendant? Is that BLK American BLK? Is that African? Because if you also look at African contexts, I mean, you can fight and argue that of the 54 countries in Africa, there are many of those countries that still have a very held together familial unit where women are still having marriages, having children, being traditional, etc. And I think you even mentioned that on one of your on the panel I saw you speak on, is that like there are Black or BLK cultures in the world that are still very much supportive of the familial structure and traditional roles, right?
Yes, but I talk about Western society. I will compare the two, but it's
Okay.
always going to be about Western women. But I'm just going to bring in I Heart Brandy. Welcome. Can you please address the prompt, and then we can go back to open panel.
Whew, this is interesting. Nobody wants to marry Black women.
Be okay, please.
Nobody wants to marry BOK women. Is there any stats or .govs or peer-reviewed studies that you can quantify?
You just I can't hear you. Something just happened. You just went
I went
quiet.
out. Do you have any? Okay, I went out. So, do you have any peer-reviewed .gov? Any factual stats, not articles, not debates, not surveys, to quantify that nobody wants to marry Black women?
Yes, they have the least
Okay,
marriage
is it
rates.
.gov? Hold on, is it .gov or is it a peer review
It's
related?
both. It's both .gov. It's both
Okay, well,
.gov.
you need to
Hold
show
on.
me.
You're asking me a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You have a laptop. You can easily look it up yourself, and it's .gov
No,
and .org.
no.
Hold on. Okay, this is something that you females who claim to be
No,
educated.
you're the female.
Hold
Don't
on.
put me in that. You're the
Have.
female. Be
So
careful how
you
you
have.
talk to
I
me.
heard. I talk to everyone like this.
No,
Okay,
well,
so
you're not gonna
if
call
you,
me a female. You could call yourself
I
one,
call
but you're not calling me one.
I call majority
Address
of the
me by my
panelists
name.
females. Okay, so
Address
just
me
don't
by
get
my
triggered by
name.
it.
No,
Okay,
address
just
me
don't.
by my name.
Listen, Brandy, please. This is what
That
happens.
yeah, call me
You just
Brandy.
get triggered. You just
No,
get triggered.
what I'm not.
I'm
No, it's
gonna
not
say
triggering.
Fefails.
It's
I'm
not
going to say
triggering.
Fefails. You've been on my live way
No, you're not.
too many
Okay,
times to not know I use this word.
Remnant, listen. You can call other people females, but when you're talking to me, you address me as Brandy.
Yeah,
I don't
that
give a damn what you like to call people, but
that's
you're
not
gonna
going to
address me
happen.
by my name, Brandy.
I will address you when I want
Right.
to, how I
Give her
want to.
respect. Give respect. I'm sure
I'll be
you can
honest
do
with
that,
you, I
right?
don't really respect a lot of females.
I
Me,
don't
listen,
care,
me.
but I'm not a female. I'm not a female.
Okay. If that's how you feel, that's fine.
No,
The
that's
reality.
what I know. So I'm gonna call you clown. I'm gonna call you
That's
clown
fine.
then.
People call me names all
All
the time.
right. So let's go.
It doesn't. I don't care
Okay, so
about
go
that.
proceed, clown. Please.
All right,
Go
fine.
ahead.
So the reality is, it seems like you have a laptop. This information is easily attainable by .gov, by
This is your
.org,
life. You should have the
CDC.
stats.
No, I don't need to bring up any stats. I
This is your
already
life.
hold on. Brandy. I already show stats. I already talk about stats. Every single live. I got videos that has stats. So the reality is,
Videos of what?
if females about dating,
What
marriage,
videos, clown?
everything. So the
What
reality
videos?
is, hold on. So the reality is, if you females are not ready and you
Okay,
don't know
clown.
these stats for yourself, you could easily take your time, do a bit of research, or just pursue the conversation. It shouldn't be
Okay.
that difficult. But
Okay,
the
so
reality is
what-
The reality is BOK females have the least marriage rate, and actually, it's actually been something that's been happening for years. Historically, they have always had the lowest marriage rates.
Okay, so Remnant the clown. Let's look at this, right? Because I did want to be respectful, but you started off the energy on calling me a female, so I'm going to ride with what you started off. So Remnant the clown, you getting up here and you're coming up here talking about CDC. First of all, if you want to you want to compare the women, you have to start with the men first. Black men historically
Be
evade
okay, please.
marriage.
Be okay, please. Say be
men.
okay.
You be okay, men, because if we're talking about leaders and providers and people of our community, then we have to point to the leaders in our community who supposedly supposed to be the men, right? So if the Black men are not rushing down the aisle to marry their women, then how is this the women's fault? You're talking about the Asian women. They are raised, those Asian men, they're getting married because they are married, they are raised to be husbands. They are raised to be providers, leaders. Black men do not fall in that category.
Be
Black
okay,
women are
please. Brandy,
BLK men.
be okay, please.
Okay. BLK men are raised to not do that. They do that last. So if you want to point the finger, you need to point the finger to the men. Start with the men first, not the women. Because marriage is what? Offered by the man, right? So nobody cares if a bunch of black degenerate BLK men are not getting up to marry. How is that falling in on the women? How is that coming to us when the BLK men are not raised to be husbands, leaders, protectors, and providers? They're out here slaying their BLK women, unaliving us at a high rate. I don't understand. For you as a black BLK woman, I don't understand how you see so much stats on BLK women, but you haven't looked up the stats on the BLK men. The constant unaliving of the women in their community, the constant abandonment of
Okay,
their family.
I don't talk
think
about,
you
I don't
should
talk about, I
start
don't,
there
hold on.
first.
Okay, Brandy,
Start there.
okay, hold on. I just want to make it clear. I don't talk about the extremes. I don't talk about anyone that's being unalived, anyone that's been AB'd or raped or any of that, okay? So let's just keep that the conversation. We're just talking about general things that happen outside of criminals, okay? So okay, it's open panel. So I'm just gonna respond to what Brandy said, and then after that, Mandy, you can speak. So Brandy's asking, why don't we ever speak about BLK men? Now the reality is, I don't speak about BLK men because I find that
You don't
BLK
get a kick
females.
out of
Hold on,
shaming BLK
listen,
women.
It's
You get
not.
a
It's
kick
not. I
out of
don't
making
get. Hold.
BLK women the butt of the
You
joke.
see how you struggle to just let me
No, you
speak on my
do.
own
You do,
live
and it's
because
sad,
I
Remnant.
allowed you to speak. I allowed you to speak. I didn't interrupt you. I let you speak. Mandy's waiting to speak. I'm actually answering your question. You asked me a question. Why don't you talk about BLK men? I'm trying to answer it. The reality is, BLK men are not as degenerate as the same men who are being raised as all these things that you just mentioned, are usually raised by a single mom. They're not raised by no man, by no father. They're raised by a BLK female who didn't know how to keep her legs closed and to find a husband first. The reason why BLK men, and outside of the ones that are not marrying BLK females, because BLK females are not wives. They're not wives, they're not modest, and they definitely are not respectful. They're aggressive and masculine. And that's why BLK men from both end of the coin, from both end of the coin, they do not want to marry.
So I did some research while I was listening because I think that's an important part of this discussion, right? Because I see that your panel is very much in support of you, which is mostly Black men, which is unfortunate, but I digress. So I
Say
do want to
BLK,
speak to
please.
BLK men, which I digress. I wanted to just step and speak to Brandy's point. And unfortunately, historically in the US, I'll take it all the way back to the 3/5 compromise. I'll take it back to, and I assume, are you British, Remnant? Are you in the UK?
He's from the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just for a historical purpose, and I'll speak of America because, again, I don't want to.
I mean, I thought it would be obvious with my accent, but go ahead.
Well, no, actually not, because I can talk like this too. So I don't even know. People do what they want on TikTok. So, like, literally, it's not even that thing. So, you never know.
Yeah,
Like, I've
no,
met people talk like this and they're
Girl,
like totally
my
not
sister
British.
could do a good English accent.
So I ask for clarity.
I mean, if I
So I
sound
would
British,
just-
then I most likely am British. But I
Well,
mean, it
Remnant,
shouldn't take
I
two
asked
brain
for
cells to figure it
clarity.
out. But go ahead.
I asked for clarity because I speak 4 languages and can speak in 3 accents, and people don't ever know where I'm from. So I just wanted clarity. I think it's the wise thing to do to seek clarity instead of make assumptions, right?
Okay, just
So
get
I would
Mandy, just
I
get
would
to the
rather
point.
go ahead to say
Just get to the point.
Absolutely,
the Pew
Mandy.
Go
research
ahead.
says that the Black men are incarcerated at 5.5 to 6 times higher
BLK.
than white men,
Say
according to the
BLK.
reports. So I
BLK.
would just like to
Okay,
speak
so
to
you're
her point that a lot of the familial unit historically in the US has been compromised by various institutional systems, for one. For two, I would say that yes, the Black family or the BLK family, as you request, since it's your panel, the BOK family.
Yes, it's my panel,
that
so
you
follow
would.
my rules. Be okay.
That's what I just did. The BOK.
Okay, go ahead.
The BOK
You
family.
want it to be long, so I'm gonna be long with you. Get to the point.
Yeah. I'll just remove myself. I appreciate you though. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yeah, you
Very,
want to be
very, very
shady.
smart
I'll be
girl.
shady with you
I'm not being
too.
shady. I'm just trying to be respectful.
Yes, you
I waited my
are. It's just
turn. I'm
simple.
speaking.
I just hold on,
I'm
Mandy.
I'm using facts. I'm being respectful. You've
And
called
that's
me
fine.
Fefails. I
And I'm
didn't take
listening to
offense.
you. And
I'm being respectful
all I
with
ask for
facts.
you to do
And I
is to say
keep, but
be
it's
okay.
not natural for me to say
So
be
I
okay.
don't know
And I
why.
acknowledge that I did it.
That's fine.
And
I
I
didn't
tried to
argue with
change it.
you. I just said, just say
So-
be okay. And you said okay. Then you was like, oh, well, just as you please. Like, come on, grow up. It's just the reason why I say
per
be okay,
request.
because it's part of the TikTok friendly language.
Are you getting any
In
restrictions
the
for
UK,
saying
there are
black?
certain, hold on. In the UK, there
You
are
don't
certain
get
words you
them.
can't say.
You don't
So
get
when
them,
I'm
but
telling you say be okay, when I'm telling you to say be okay, it's not me being petty. It's literally a rule on my life. So
well,
it's
I would
not, oh, it's do
recommend
as I say. It's just a rule. But I'm listening. You said pure research.
Pew research.
Apparently,
Yes, I
BOK
was
men
going
are
off of
being
Pew research.
unalived
And
at
I
a
was
high
saying that
rate.
yes, no, incarceration. And the reason I spoke of incarceration is that
Oh,
that
going
tears
to
the black family apart.
going to prison.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was saying yes, that has a big impact on marriage rates between BOK and BOK people. Correct. So I would say that as BOK women, the rate at which our BOK men are being incarcerated, whether justly or unjustly, is a big proponent as to why some of these BOK marriages are challenged. The other thing that I would say is that unfortunately, there are a lot of BOK women who have become over masculinized because they are single parents. And I don't say that lightly, as I was married and I understand what it's like. I don't desire not to be married. I believe I'm a wife. I desire to be a wife. But my husband didn't want marriage. My husband said he wasn't ready, and he's a BOK man. For BOK women, especially now in 2025 and 2026, you're seeing a lot of BOK women trying to repatronage to sustainable living, gardening, raising their kids, doing things that are more holistic, like going off grid, things like that. And there are bigger communities for that. So I would just say, at the end of the day, yes, the two things can be true. BOK women can be a hard community, but that's not to say that any other group of women cannot be a hard community. That's not to
They
say
definitely
that
are.
any other community cannot. Like a lot of those marriages, I mean, if you're talking about marriage just for the sake of marriage, a lot of marriages in an Asian context are arranged. A lot of marriages in an Asian context are not content marriages or happy marriages. If you look at, I believe it's Japanese culture, there's a whole culture where married men cheat on their wives and it's accepted, right? Look at marriage, if we're saying just by the sheer marriage rates, we're not looking at the success of the marriage. We're not looking at AB rates because in Asian cultures, that is much higher, just by their sheer numbers. AB is much higher in Asian cultures, as is DV, which is much higher in Asian cultures. And there's also a higher rate of miscarriage. There's a higher rate of fetal.
Yeah, I'm not talking.
issues,
Hello,
all those
sorry,
things.
Mandy. I'm not talking about Mandy.
No. I'm just
I don't
saying
talk
that for the
about
sake of
extremes on my life.
Well, no.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not saying that it's an extreme.
Yeah,
no.
I'm
There's
saying
no
we
point
that
know you're
saying
never
it.
talking
Hold on.
extreme.
what I'm trying to
Brandy,
express
please.
is that the point is, if you compare apples, then compare them to apples. If you're going to use a statement and then use a class of people to compare to this statement, nobody wants to marry BLK women, and then use a group of women that in no way compares culturally, clinically, sociologically, economically, geographically, that is a very hard way to go. Because just by the sheer argument, you're comparing apples and oranges. Asian women
Okay, all
versus
right. So
BLK
I'm going
women, it's
to
a hard statement.
I'm going to no, it's not a hard statement. The reality is we are in Western society, and in Western society, Asian women are still running laps around you. Even with
But they're
everything,
not
they
around
still are the
me.
highest. Hold on. No, hold on.
Do you
Am I
mean
talking
me
about
as
you
in us?
personally? No. I'm talking about BOK Fefails as a collective, not you personally. When I say you, it's a general thing. Not you personally. I don't know your life like that to really say you. Unless you give me a little bit of information, then I might, but you will know when I am. So the reality is, in Western society, where BOK females also abide by the same law, by the same land, they are still thriving. It doesn't matter. Now, the reality is, YT, for example, YT men, it says here about a good 1.8 million, roughly 1.8 million YT men have been incarcerated. Meanwhile, they still get married. Is that stopping them? No. So people get incarcerated. That's not the reason why that the marriage rates are low. Criminals in your community is not the reason why marriage rates are low. The marriage rate is low for BOK females is because they are not traditional. They chose to jump on the feminist wave. They're very masculine, don't want to be submissive, and have these useless, unrealistic expectations and standards that not even any other race wants to follow. And the truth is, if they really was wanted, then there would be other nations who would want them. But they don't. Even other nations don't. Hold on, let me just speak. Every other nation doesn't even want a BOK female. That's why online, on dating apps, they are the least picked. Nobody wants her. They want every other female, every other woman other than a BOK female. So it has nothing to do with incarceration. It's about the image that BOK females represent, which is utter failure. What did you want to say, Brandy?
Remnant, usually I could contend with you, but this is getting very sad at this point. With you, I'm just going to be blunt, cut, and honest. Very sad. First of all, your statement says nobody. That is a lie already. Nobody means no one, nothing. So this is why I challenged you on your statement, which is very stupid, because to say nobody, that means that you are speaking for the whole of a population of a people, different groups, races, and cultures. So already you failed right there in your assessment. Now, had you came up here with some numbers that are backed by the peer review, you telling me go study, this is your argument. I don't need to go do a damn thing. Lastly, also,
then you can't prove nothing. It's just that simple.
Remnant, your whole base, this whole topic is just not even right. Nobody.
But you can't even prove what you're saying. Look at least. Hold on.
You can't even
listen.
prove
Mother Mandy came with some facts. I give her that. You are just speaking out of your nyash.
And
you have no source to back up anything that you're saying.
No source to
so the reality is the reality is hold on.
Women.
The reality is when I said nobody wants to marry BOK females, I would hope we would understand it's the majority of people don't want to marry. Majority of men. Majority of men. I don't need to say anything. I made it clear what I'm saying. Brandy, I made it clear.
The right information.
It's really hard to debate. It's really hard to debate with females because they're so aggressive. They're so aggressive and so angry at the truth.
Okay.
It's like you can't be able to have a healthy, logical conversation anymore. Because this is what happens. This is why men don't want BOK females. Because talking to them is like knocking your head on the wall.
And talking to you is like talking to
it gets nowhere. It just becomes aggressive.
Let's move on from that. Remnant, this is what I wanted to say, right? And stop with the gaslighting about aggressive. No, what you're hearing is assertiveness, and I'm giving you the energy that you're putting out. You're speaking on black BOK women as a whole, which is stupid. Okay, so Remnant, I did wanted to address you on something, because you said that BOK women are more degenerate than BOK men, and that is a lie. That is a lie from the pits of hell. When the stats and the numbers shows the records of how men deal in a community with their women, the crime. So for you to sit here and say that BOK men are less degenerate than BOK women, You have lost your everlasting UK mind. And I'm gonna
No,
tell
I
you that
haven't.
here. No, you're really sick in the
Let me
mind
tell
when the
you why.
rates
Let
and
me
the
tell you
stats
why.
show
Let me tell
that
you
they
why.
have the
Because
biggest crime. You listen, you want to coddle these
you keep
BL,
mentioning criminals. You keep mentioning criminals, and I keep
they're
telling you,
degenerate
stop talking
altogether.
about the extremes. I'm talking about how BOK females function
Okay,
in
so what is
society
degeneracy?
as law-abiding. When I'm
What is
talking about, I'm not
degeneracy?
talking. Hold on, I'm talking
You just
about
said law
outside.
abiding, right?
Yes, so you're talking
So
about
who breaks the
criminals. So we're
laws?
talking.
Who breaks laws?
Oh my goodness me. You know you
Who
don't have
breaks
to be a
laws?
criminal to be degenerate. You do know that, right?
No,
You know
no,
you
you
can
just
be degenerate
listen.
without being a
I'm
criminal.
calling you
You
out
do
on your
know that.
points, Remnant. I'm
No,
calling you out
you
on your
weren't calling me out
points.
on my points.
I
You are
am.
talking
I
about the
am.
extremes. I'm not talking
I'm
about
not talking about
criminals.
the
I'm
extremes.
talking about law-abiding citizens. So
Okay, so
females who are
again,
law-abiding, they are degenerates
right.
because they are very promiscuous.
Oh my
Okay, they have
gosh.
high single mom rates. They have the highest unaliving rate, unaliving unborn babies. To make that
Oh
clear,
my God. Girl, okay, Remnant. Listen to what you
they
just
are
said.
they
Remnant.
are the most masculine compared to every other nation. Every
Remnant.
other woman, every other nation are much
Why
more
is that
feminine,
though?
know how to be submissive,
Why is that?
because
Why?
BOK females worship money.
Why?
BOK females have no respect for any type of
May I
moral
come in,
Remnant,
compass.
I'm
Fabian?
not even Remnant.
Brandy, Brandy,
Listen.
can
Hold
I?
on, hold on, mother. Let me say something. You just said law abiding, right? So tell me, where is it a law that a woman cannot have multiple? Where is a law that is speaking against women being single moms? Tell me, where is there a law? You brought up law abiding when we know the stats shows that BOK men have a record. They are the highest incarcerated. They have things. So if you're talking about law abiding, if a woman wants to have multiple baby daddy, that's not no damn law against that. So you're not making any sense. You want to sit here and coddle these BLK men with this foolishness, and you're the reason why is women like you, the reason why these kings are the way they are today, because you coddle them and you make them think that their degeneracy is okay and that they're the prize and that they don't do no wrong. And this is the problem with a lot of black BLK women. They have coddled these BLK men that they're so weak and docile, they can't even get up and stand up for their community. They can't fight. They can't do nothing. They're too busy worrying about wigs, weave, and lashes and other things. You're one of those women that sit there and lick they backs on the plantation when they could have got up and rose up. You are not a soldier, sis. I wouldn't definitely ride with you into no warfare. You are the problem. You are a real problem. And you know what, Remnant? It's a new year. And it's about time that you actually start focus on something more productive than attacking women. I understand you want to be the Kevin Samuel female. He's gone. Y'all fairy godfather is gone. You need to really go back and look up the stats and really go do history and stop coming for black women and black queen. It's a new year. You need to find
BOK,
something else to
please.
do. You need to find something else to do. You know it costs money to down BLK women. We're not the butt of the joke. I understand that you may not value yourself.
Okay. Brandy,
You may not
you're
see
just going
yourself
on at
as
this point. You're
a
not giving
success.
anything constructive.
No, if you see yourself as a
Okay,
failure,
Brandy. Okay, I'm
then you
crashing
are the
your line.
failure.
I'm
But stop
crashing your
coming for
plane.
black
Okay,
women. I'm sick of you.
I'm not gonna
Seriously.
stop. Okay, BOK
No,
females are
we know you're
forever.
not gonna
Hold on.
stop. You hate yourself.
Okay. I get it. Brandy's hurt that BOK
No,
females
you
are not
hate
getting
yourself.
married. I understand. Okay. Now you've yapped long enough. Life in a pot is waiting. I'm just gonna make a quick response. The truth is, I'm always going to talk about BLK females. That's never going to change. I thoroughly want to expose every part of your
We
mindset,
know you hate yourself.
every way that you speak, every way that you put your wigs
We
on your
know you
head,
hate yourself.
every eyelash you have, every degeneracy needs to be exposed and needs to be spoken about because no one wants to talk about it. See,
Remnant.
BLK females
Boy, the
always get
hate you give.
upset when you want to expose what they're doing, okay? They don't want to be exposed. They want to live their best life while shaking their nyash, showing their nyash, and popping their legs open and popping out degenerate children. That's
And you
what
wonder,
BLK females want.
and
So
mother,
the
you see
reality is,
why,
hold on,
and you see,
Brandy.
and you see why
Hold on,
FBAs are coming for
Brandy.
you
I'm
African women.
speaking. I don't care about that. I don't need to address men.
Yeah, but we know who you're speaking on.
You BOK females want to argue with men. That's what you
You're
BOK
speaking on
females
Black
do.
American
You
women.
want to argue with men. I don't argue with men. I want to debate other women. See, you BOK females are so used to arguing with men, combating men. I'm not a man to combat a man. I'm not a man to tell what a man should do. That's not my job. Another man is going to do that, not me. It's actually pretty normal that I want to just speak to women. That's actually the most normal thing to do as a woman. I know it's hard for you. I know it's hard for you to comprehend that because a lot of you females
No,
are
you want
so
to
masculine.
bash Black.
A lot of you females are so masculine that you're used to arguing with men as if it's normal. It's not. So I'm going to introduce Life in a Pot.
Girl, you was a failure.
Welcome, Life
You
in a
hate
Pot. Can you
yourself.
please
Goodbye, Remy.
address the
I'll
prompt,
come back another day. Bye.
please?
Hello,
Go ahead, Life in a Pot.
hello, Remnant. So,
Welcome.
thank you for allowing me up and allowing me to speak. Typically, I agree with everything that you say, but today, I'm sorry, I just don't agree. And the reason why I don't agree is because I do believe that BOK men do want to marry BOK women, but the issue is that feminism has become a hurdle that's hard for a lot of men to kind of cross over. So I think that, just looking at history and what has happened to sorry, my children are running around. But what has happened historically to our communities is I really do believe that YT people have infiltrated our households and inserted that feminist mindset into BOK women. And because of that, it has disrupted our households and our family structures. So I do want to take accountability because at one point, I did play into that toxic mindset, but understanding the issue of what it means to not want to submit, not want to be feminine, not wanting to be modest, not wanting to, abide by my gender role. I had to really look at myself and ask why that was. And honestly, it all comes from indoctrination. And I don't want to not put the responsibility on BOK women as a whole to not do their due diligence of undoctrinating themselves or unlearning said behaviors that have been taught to us by YT supremacy. But I just want to make sure that that's understood, that while it is partially our fault, our households have been infiltrated by our oppressor. And I'll land there.
Okay, so it's interesting, there's truth in what you're saying, but it's a very victim mentality, which a lot of BOK females like to do, is they want to blame the YT woman and the YT man who built the system is why they are degenerate. We are in 2026. There have been many people that have come and tried to inform BOK females how to act, like Shahrazad Ali, just wanted to pronounce her name right. Shahrazad Ali, who is an author. She used to do interviews. She wrote books. She spoke to BOK women constantly. And guess what? BOK females didn't want to listen to her. BOK females attacked her the same way they attacked Kevin Samuels. So this has nothing to do with the system. This has nothing to do with YT women and YT man. Honestly, the way BOK females are acting, it seems like they want to be the YT woman.
Can I
That's
ask
the
you a
truth.
question, Mama?
The reason why a lot of BOK females, the reason why a lot of BOK females keep blaming everybody else is because they know they failed. And they want to live like every other nation. But they don't want to do the work to do it.
So what is your desired
But we're in
outcome for
2026.
this?
There
What
are
is-
so many people out there that have come and spoke to BOK females, BOK women, and they didn't want to change.
So I do want to respond.
So I'm just gonna read out my I'm just gonna acknowledge these super chats, and then I know Mandy wants to say something, and then you can say something after Life in a Pot. So I want to acknowledge from Downtown St. $10 US. Shout out to Remnant Princess, the realest female in these YouTube streets. All gas breaks. Thank you. No breaks. Thank you. I appreciate you. Eric Jordan sent $5 US. Brandy already lost. Most BOK women are single moms, has multiple kids by multiple men, and all you can do is shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Yeah, she was a different type of triggered, honestly. Like a bunch of firecrackers. Anyways, I know Mother Mandy wanted to say something. And thank you, Eric Jordan. Go ahead, Mandy.
The first thing I just kind of want to understand is like, what is your desired outcome with your platform by targeting BLK Fefails? What is your desired outcome for BLK Fefails, as you call them?
Well, to make this clear, I speak not just about BLK Fefails, I speak about every type of female. But in today's prompt, I am talking about BLK Fefails. And my, what I want to do is to expose them and to debate their illogical mindset. I'm trying to understand, where did you get this logic and how do you think this logic is even measures to reality?
So you don't necessarily
I'm
want to help
exposing them.
You just want to, like, expose them.
No, there's nothing I can do. No, I can't help them. No, there's nothing I can do to help them. No one can help BOK females. No one.
So I think that's a challenging statement.
Like, Jesus can't even help them. The Bible can't even help you females. No one can help them.
I've seen.
No, you can't say beg to differ. How come Shazad Ali, they didn't listen to her? How come they didn't listen to their own BOK US women? Huh? She's not African. She's not from, hold on. I'm asking you a question. How come when Shazad Ali, a married woman, came and tried to help you BOK females from the United States, how come no one listened to her? Please answer that question.
I'm not a BLK female, but I understand what you're saying. I
never called you one. I'm asking you a question. How come no one listened?
And I'm answering you. I think a lot of people in the group of people that you are speaking about are not necessarily exposed to her, for one. And I can say, like, a random BLK woman in the middle of Memphis, Tennessee, who grew up and might not have had the best access to education and who might be one of the very particular women you're speaking about, she might not know.
She was all over TV. She was on TV. What I'm saying is, she was a big deal.
Listen, if I may.
She wasn't a nobody.
I'm just saying, I'm not, if I may. One, for context, we all know how algorithms work. We all know how people myopically look at news, right? If you only ever watch CNN, if you only ever watch MSNBC, if you only ever watch Good News America, you get the same filtered information. So what I'm saying is, a lot of these uneducated BLK females you are referencing are women who unfortunately are not globalized. They have not gone out of the four squares of their own neighborhood for whatever reason or not. A lot of these welfare degenerate shaken.
Okay, Mandy, I'm talking about. Okay, I'm just saying, Mandy, the ones.
No. If I may,
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but
you're speaking to.
Hold on. I just want to make this clear. Hold on, Mandy. The ones that knew about Shazad. Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. The ones that knew about Shazad Ali didn't like her. The ones that were exposed to her message. The ones that actually bought her book and opened it and read it with their two eyes. They still was against her message. So how could you help people that don't, hold on, how could you help people that don't want to be helped? So if they didn't listen.
To be fair. And I think what I'm saying is, if you
her delivery,
listen. That's why I asked.
See, no accountability.
No, I'm not saying there's
no accountability.
Her message was wrong. I'm not saying that her message was wrong. I don't disagree with her message. I am a traditionalist. I believe in gender roles. I believe in femininity. I believe in women playing their part. I believe in all of that. I'm not against that. And I'm not saying that she's necessarily wrong. What I'm just saying to you is, I'm answering your question from a general perspective, is that I do think that a lot of people, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And as somebody who has seen it for myself, firsthand witness, there are women who are what you would consider the degenerate failure BLK female or whatever in quotes. I would say that just if with the right message and the right inspiration and right mentorship, they can change. I don't think that anyone is beyond change. I just am more concerned about, I think there are people who take to Kevin Samuels, and I watched his stuff. I don't necessarily disagree with everything he said. I
So
don't
the
agree with
reason
everything
why,
he
so the
said.
reason why, so hold on. So the reason why nobody listened to Zard Ali is because her delivery, not the
No,
fact
I
that
didn't
she
say that. I
was.
said I think a lot of people had a
Well,
trouble
that's what you said.
understanding. No, I
No,
didn't
no, no, no.
say. I said I think delivery matters. I think a lot of these women you're
Yeah, so
speaking
it's
about.
how she's. No, it's not about me. I'm talking about Shazad Ali. So you're saying the reason why BOK Fefails didn't want to listen to someone like her is because of her delivery.
I said I think a lot of the reason could be exposure
And that's the issue.
and
No, no,
could
no, no.
be
The
how
ones
she delivered
nothing.
it. That's what I said.
So that's the issue is that you, not you, don't take it personally. BOK Fefails don't want to be held accountable. You want everyone to cuddle your emotions and feelings. And it's interesting, Shazad Ali herself said, majority of you BOK Fefails don't even mature, don't even have the mentality of a your
I think it
mentality
would have
goes
hit differently
hold on,
coming
your
from a BLK
mentality,
woman.
your mentality goes as high as 14. Majority of BOK Fefails think like a bunch of 14-year-old teenagers.
I just think as you as a you as a BLK female or female, I don't even know what you consider yourself at this point. You as a BLK person speaking to BLK people, this is an example of how you have a platform that could do so much positive.
No. I'm not going to. I'm not. Listen, I'm not going to help you BOK Fefails. No, that's not my job to do. We're in 2026, okay? 2026.
I'm just saying,
start helping a bunch of failures. No.
Let me ask my second
That
question.
boat has
My
sailed.
second
Okay.
question is this.
That
What
boat
do you
has
gain
sailed.
from hating yourself and for the women that look like you?
It's not about hating my. See, this is the issue I have with you, Fefails. You think talking the truth is despising you guys. So
I'm
because
not.
I don't like failure. Hold on. You asked me a question. You said, "What do I get from despising myself?" But this is not despising myself.
What
It's
does
actually
the
loving
statement say?
myself. Because
May I
I
ask a
understand.
question?
Hold on. Because nobody wants to marry BOK women,
Okay,
and that
so
is
stop,
true. That is
stop.
true. Hold
So,
on. No, I'm not
are
going
you
to
a
stop.
BLK
You don't
woman?
tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. See, this is the
someone wanna
issue. Is that a
marry
lot of
you?
you BOK. Hold on. The truth is, nobody wants to marry BOK women. It's true.
no one
Nobody
wants
wants
to
to
marry
marry. It doesn't matter. The reality is, majority of people don't want to marry BOK females, and majority of people don't want to marry a BOK woman, because what happened is the majority of failures. See, there's more failures than traditional women. There's
I
more
beg to differ.
masculine. There's more masculine females than there is feminine women. So what happens is, even the ones, even the ones who are wives, even the ones who are modest, even the ones who actually follow high standards are seen as degenerates, because those are the majority collective who are doing what they are doing. There's not enough wives, there's not enough traditional women. So overall, when they see a BOK woman, they are going to look at her like a degenerate even before she has opened her mouth. Because what they usually see on their phone, on TikTok, on Instagram, is a BOK female showing her nyash, her chest, and being a 304. That's the image that BOK females represent today. So yes,
okay, so let me just say this.
in
I
the
think
grand
your
scheme of things,
statement,
they don't want to marry.
I would say my issue comes with the statement. I think that if it were to have been worded as majority of people don't want to marry BLK females,
Okay, life in
that
a
would
pot
be
after
true.
your after this,
But
you're
I would
next.
say this would be an inflammatory statement that's not true, because you're a BLK woman. And if you're a BLK woman and there are men that want to marry you, then this statement automatically cannot be true. I think what I'm saying is, from the sheer fact of being a BLK woman, right? You're not saying female, you're saying BLK woman. If they're a BLK woman, I'm assuming a BLK
Yes, because
woman is not the same as a female.
biologically they are a woman. Yes, because biologically they are a woman. Okay, so I'm gonna speak a bit of facts. But the type of woman they are is a Fefail.
I wouldn't have a problem
And
if it
that's
was
the
majority.
difference.
Daylord, I wouldn't. I think it would be a more factual statement. I think that there is truth in a
Oh,
stereotype.
you're just being really tedious. Yeah, because
No,
guess who
I'm-
made the stereotype? The ones who,
No,
this
I'm
is it. It's a
responding to a comment.
stereotype. It's a
I'm saying
stereotype.
that-
It's a stereotype that BOK Fefails have created, and that's the
I'm
point.
not irrational in saying that there's not truth to what you're saying. I'm saying that what the statement is problematic because it is not a true statement. I'm
It's very
saying
much
that
a
I
true
don't
statement.
disagree with that there is a troubling image of BLK women in America. Yes, that is true. What I'm saying is that nobody is it is an eternal statement. It is a forever word. Nobody means not one wants to marry a BLK woman. There are many successful BLK marriages. There are there are very many successful BLK marriages. There are
Okay,
very
okay,
many
Mandy,
successful BLK women.
Mandy, you're being tedious. We're talking about the majority, okay? And this is what you Fefails do. Oh, nobody. It's not everyone. Yeah, we know that. Yes, we know that. We all have a brain. It's not every single BLK woman on earth. We get it. But we are obviously
about
speaking
African
about the
women? Do they fall in
Hold
that?
on. Yes, if they're
African
in
women
Western
fall in that?
society. Yes, if they are in Western society. What, you think in Western society they're getting married? Please. Anyways,
African
life in a
women
pot.
are still getting married in Western
No,
society.
not
I
in
know
not
very
not
many
not
of
in
them.
the UK, not in the UK, not in the UK, not in Europe, not in France. So, and not in the US. That's a damn lie.
So your
Life in a pot.
comment section just said everyone would be
Life
100%.
okay. Life in a pot wants to speak. Go ahead. And then after that, I'm going to acknowledge a super chat.
All right. So, excuse me. So I did want to address something that was said earlier, but I think I'm just going to pick it up here and just say that, I learned about Shahzad Ali a lot later in my life. In college, I studied political science, and I mainly had an emphasis on gender and race, right? So understanding how feminism affected BOK folks, I think that's important to acknowledge in the conversation. Me personally, I 100% agreed with almost everything that Shahzad Ali said. I watched Kevin Samuels. I agreed with almost 100% of everything that he said. I think it's just like a lot of our younger people. I'm not specifically young, but I was born in the mid/late 90s, and Shahzad Ali was prevalent in like the 80s and early 90s, so, and these are people that my mother didn't necessarily introduce to me. Granted, she was a single mother, so I had to do my due diligence even in college with the studies that I had to learn what feminism was and how to undo the feminist mindset even within myself. So I think that the issue with our community, and I'm talking about the Black community in the United States, is the negative imagery that's put out
Be
there
okay,
of
please.
BLK women. Okay, I apologize. Of BLK women, and pretty much people mimicking what they see. I think media oftentimes reflects society, and society reflects what they see in media. So I don't want to put 100% on there, but I think to go against the grain is kind of hard to do, especially when you don't have a guide. So I do agree with the fact that you're saying that, we do have Fefails, but I think that there's an education that has to happen by women that understand what it is. And I think that's probably what you're doing, Remnant, but I just wanted to just let it be known. I don't necessarily agree, because I know a lot of Black women that are BLK women, excuse me, that are married, but again, they know their role and their gender role, and they do what they're supposed to do within the household. So I don't know. My point of view is different. I don't surround myself with certain types of people, so I'll land there, but I will go ahead and drop. I am married, by the way, and all my kids are by the same man. All
Yeah,
right.
mine are too. So I don't know, but I was
Yeah,
going to
it's
say thank you.
interesting.
I'll take my leave
It's
now. I do
interesting.
appreciate you for having me.
It's
Thank you.
it's interesting how these BOK feels say, well, we don't hang around failures. No, neither do I. But guess what? They still exist. Duh. Who wants to hang around a bunch of degenerates? Nobody does. Do you think I hang around single moms, baddies, independent females? No, I don't. But they do exist, and they are failures. It's just that simple. So I'm going to acknowledge a super chat
Can you drop me, please? I was just saying I thank you for having me. If you don't mind dropping me.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna acknowledge the super chat. So, okay, so we got Rafe who sent $5. Thank you. Taking accountability, responsibility for your action is growth. Looking to blame something externally keeps you stuck in a victim, hopeless mentality. Yes, a lot of BOK females love playing the victim. It's probably like one of the most favorite costume of theirs. Eric Jordan sent US $2. Doesn't matter how the delivery is, the truth. Doesn't matter how the delivery is, the truth hurts you. Exactly. Why me sent $5. AAMs have had enough of the AAF. AABM have decided to find melanin elsewhere. And I don't blame them. Supreme Clientele sent $10. Remnant is right. Those who knew of Shazad Ali rejected that. One notably known BOK woman is Alina. Sorry if I didn't pronounce her name right. Forgive me. She is literally seen questioning her defensively when she appeared on a show. I think I know what interview you're talking about. Culture Invasion sent $5. Thank you. We don't hang around failures, but they stay unmarried. Great show, sis. I know, right? So yes, thank you. The reality is a lot of these Fefails get triggered. They honestly just get triggered. And the truth is, nobody wants to marry a BOK Fefail. That's the truth. And they don't like the fact that it is an image that you Fefails have now made as a whole representation. Now, anytime anyone looks at a BOK woman, they are going to see failure. They are probably going to think she's a single mom before she's even a wife. They are going to think she was getting her cheeks clapped before she even got married. Because so many BOK Fefails are good at doing this. This is what they are talented for. This is BOK Fefails' talent. When it comes to looking for a wife, no one's thinking of a BOK Fefail. No one's actually thinking, well, that's the person that I want to marry. No one's thinking she's going to make a great wife. No one's thinking she is going to be a great mother to my children. We see BOK Fefails' children running reckless every single day, getting into fights, fighting until they're unalive, hurting each other. Who do you think is raising them? So how many men actually want to watch their children do the same thing? How many men want to be with either BOK Fefail and know that their child is most likely going to come out degenerate, going to fight, their daughter is most likely going to have weave on her head, want to be a 3 or 4, want to be a baddie? You need to understand, it's more than just the fact that she's masculine. You have to take a look at the family. And when it comes to building a family, a man has to look at his options. A man has to say, what is the best option for having a healthy family? It's not a BOK Fefail. Because when you take a look at the things that influence BOK Fefails, there's nothing natural about it. That's one. Everything about BOK Fefails is fake. Is nothing healthy, that's two, because majority of them are probably overweight, but they think because they have a big nyash, it doesn't matter. Majority of them are masculine, so they never want to submit to a man. The idea of submitting to a man is so unattractive to BOK Fefails, then why would a man willingly choose that? And then you are going to be the first-hand person to raise his daughter? What are you BOK Fevers going to teach your daughter? How to be aggressive? 304s? So nobody wants to marry a BOK female because nobody wants a degenerate raising their children. Every other nation understands the quality of what it means to be a traditional woman. They understand that this is how you raise healthy children, have a healthy community and a healthy society. BOK females don't get that. That girl said your topics just get worse. It's not that it gets worse, it just gets more honest. See, a lot of you females are so used to being coddled by your sisterhood. That's what you want. You want people to say it's going to be okay. You're going to get married one day. God is going to find you a man. Don't worry, your husband is out there. You'll get what you deserve. No, you won't get what you deserve. Take it back. You will get what you deserve, which is no one. That's what they deserve. They are getting what they deserve. I take it back. You deserve no one. Because there's no man that's actually ever willingly going to see you as a wife. So the truth is, BOK females are getting what they deserve. That's why they have the lowest marriage rate. That's why the divorce rate is higher than the marriage rate. It exceeds the marriage rate. They're not getting married. They're destroying their families and staying unmarried. That's what they deserve. That's their reality. We are seeing what they deserve, which is not a quality man, which is not a quality family, because they don't have any qualities inside them either. And this is a lot of females' mentality. This is a lot of their mindset. They get angry when someone actually tells them about themselves. They complain about tone, delivery. That has nothing to do with anything. Truth is truth. And if someone is telling you the truth, then you take it on board. But they don't want to do that. And they never did. See, people want to act like you can help these BOK females. No, they can't be helped. That's just a straight fact. Nobody can help a BOK female. And nobody wants to help a BOK female, just like nobody wants to marry her. If every other nation knows how to be wives, then why would they pick you? Why would they pick a BOK female if other nations know how to be wives? What would be the point? And the truth is, the only thing BOK females submit to is money. That's the only thing they try to submit to. I would even say try. Today, you have to buy her loyalty. You have to buy her love. You have to actually buy the BOK female. You think you're going to get married to her for love? That's not happening. You will never find a BOK female who actually wants to be with you for love. No. I'm sorry. That is a sad reality, but it's the truth. You are not finding one BOK female that's going to marry you for love. She's marrying you for what she can extort from you. She's marrying you for what she can exploit from you. She's marrying you because of what you have, not who you are. Thank you, Supreme. Sent $10. Ask women this question. If they had to choose between vacationing in Dominican Republic or vacationing in Haiti, which would they choose between the two? One of which two is modern females. Facts. You know damn well they want to vacate anywhere that's nice. Anywhere that you are going to have to spend money. Anywhere that you are going to have to spend money. Hope said, bro, what? Don't sound like a bro. I don't know what you're confused about either. That girl said, not just BOK women. No. Majority of BOK females, yes. Compared to every other nation, they don't sell themselves for money. No. East Asian women don't sell themselves for money. South Asian women don't sell themselves. They don't do that. They actually grow and build with their husband. They're so traditional, they trust their parents to find people that they love. And I'm not even talking about in their country. I'm talking about the ones that live in the UK. I'm talking about the ones that live in the US. This is how they behave in Western society. In Western society, they are so traditional. It doesn't matter what is going on. It doesn't matter who's on TV, what music is out there. They're not doing Hot Girl Summer. They're not doing City Girls. They're not doing We Need to Find a Trick. They stay at home, do what they need to do, get their education, and say, Mom, Dad, help me find a husband. I trust you. That's why they're the most educated, because it's common sense to do that. It's common sense. BOK Fevers don't have any common sense. If you give her money, though, she might have it. Give her a allowance every month. She might just have one brain cell. She will buy it somewhere. She will magically find a brain cell if you keep paying her every month. Okay then, welcome Classy Perspective. It's good to have you. Can you please address the prompt?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Welcome.
Well, it says nobody wants to marry black women. Well, a lot of times what you'll hear people say, well, I know somebody that's married and I've been married. Yeah, but we know the one human being that you probably know probably 10 or 12 people max out of the possible millions of people that they're doing their percentages on. Of course, married people usually hang around other married people. Why in the world would they want to hang around single people? It doesn't make any sense. And I try to tell a lot of these women, as you well know, they have a prediction, especially when it comes to all these jobs y'all going to school for, they're going to be obsolete by 2030. Their prediction is that 50% of corporate jobs will all be run by AI. So what y'all going to do after that all start happening? As you can see, 400,000 black women lost their jobs here in the United States. What's the backup plan? I'm not saying black women can't find one, but what will be your backup
Sorry,
plan?
be okay, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to get used to that. What will happen once, I hope a lot of y'all have a backup plan, because a lot of BLK women, what's your backup plan once, you can't use your education no more? And I keep trying to tell them, when you want to talk about a lot of things, when you talk about Shahrazad Ali, she was getting toast on the Phil Donahue show before Oprah became what she was. And we tried to talk to them about the feminist movement. Back in the days, we had an 85% family marital rate. And as soon as feminism came in, y'all backed away from the black family. As soon as the government started getting y'all benefits, you saw fit that they were more important than your own family. Not just the men, but your kids. You decided, well, let's take his money and let's give the government a percentage of what he makes also. So that's basically taking more money out of your children's mouth just by doing that alone. You guys are not parents if you letting the government parent you.
Facts.
And if you're talking about Asians, a lot of people, when we talk about the education, that the black women are the most education, all of that stuff came from articles by magazine companies that black Americans don't run anymore. Essence. What's that other one? Ebony. Black people don't run those magazines no more. And the fact of the matter is, you can go look this up on .gov, CDC. The minimum salary for an Asian woman that graduates with a bachelor is $75,000 a year. That's at a start. Because of the fields that they choose to go in, mostly is medical. And when you hear these stories, well, what are you saying? There are no successful black people? No, there are successful
Be
black
okay,
people.
Please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know.
Yes, there are successful BLK people. I have an uncle that's a neurologist. His wife is a cardiologist. They spend time in Potomac, Washington, and Maryland, or they spend time at Martha's Venue. But we all know that that's something to be proud of as black people, but that's a small percentage. And on top of that, when you talk about Kevin Samuels, have you noticed he predicted every single thing that was going to happen to celebrities like the Tracy Ellis Ross, like the Lisa Race, the Vivica Fox, the Claudia Jordans. Only one that didn't give him problems was Selena Johnson because she was married already. He predicted all of this, and these women are in their 50s and 60s talking about they're still looking for a man on their level, and they've been around men on their level for a very long time and still was not chosen. What does that tell you? And 54% of black men BLK men don't have children. But the women, even Ari Lennox on YouTube, she's been talking about all she likes is toxic men. What man wants to come around that's bust his tail off, wants to deal with a woman like that? Ain't got nothing to do with her looks because she's beautiful, but it's the mentality that y'all have that's killing you, that's destroying y'all. I'm sorry, Remini, I'm going off. Go ahead.
It's okay. I have one question for you. Why do you think BLK females always want to victimize themselves, even though people, not me, but in general, people have spoken the truth? So how come they always go back to this victim mentality? We're in 2026.
Because it gets the most attention. Being a victim in 2026 gets you a lot of attention. That's why. It's even when you want to take it from, well, we're victimized, we're this and this, but it's like you have to take time out to look back and see how it all started. Now, it's possible, and I'm just throwing this out here, I'm not talking about for everyone. It is possible that this was passed down from their mothers and grandmothers as well. Because most of their mothers haven't been married either. They had them out of wedlock. I know women who are married right now and their mother was single mothers raising them. Their own mothers are jealous of their daughters who did get married. That's what it's all coming from. It's just to get attention. They feel deep down inside, they feel like really nobody wants them. So if I can't play the feminine role like the other cultures of women, I'm going to play the victim. If I can't be famous, I'm going to be infamous. That's just how I look at it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your support. Thank you. I'm going to have my last words and then I'm going to be locking off the live. So, nobody wants BLK females, I think, is consistent in what we see in reality. They don't know how to be wives, they don't want to be wives, and they expect for everyone to coddle them so they can just live their best life. And somehow they don't understand why nobody wants to marry them. I think they like to act dumb a lot of times. And what it is BLK females don't want to be exposed. That's why they didn't like Kevin Samuels. See, a lot of the panelists today spoke about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels still ruffles their feathers. Rest in peace to that man. Yeah, so what did you want to say?
But that amazes me because if they talk about the way the words were spoken, how soft, as a gentleman, it didn't get no bigger than that man, in my opinion. The only problem with not all women, but a lot of women, they pay more attention to the 6 to 7 minute clip of him arguing with another woman instead of actually listening to his live show to see what he was trying to convey. Yes, and I'll say this. Yes, there is a single mother out there that can find a man to marry them, but the percentage is just as small as all these women are trying to find rich men. You're battling all for the same men, and a lot of you will not get it. Now, if a woman decides that she doesn't want to get married, then hey, that's cool. But you can't demand that a man protect something that he can't give instructions to. I digress my point.
Okay, thank you so much, Classy Perspective. Appreciate you for coming up. Thank you. So, my last thoughts, and it's just interesting that they didn't like Kevin Samuels, even till this day they don't, because they don't want to be held accountable. And it's interesting, someone in the comments said, you're saying as if you aren't one. Is it shocking that someone that's BLK has common sense? See, a lot of BLK females don't want other BLK females to expose them. See, they want people like me to keep my mouth shut and just go with the wave and be part of the sisterhood and the sister code and say you can do whatever you want because you got this, sis. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to set the record straight. And it's just this simple. Nobody wants to marry BOK Fefails because compared to every other nation, they are the most degenerate and they are the most promiscuous. I don't care where you are from. US, UK. Same results. In the UK, it's 20% for BOK Fefails when it comes to being the least married. US, 33%. 10% different. Nobody wants to marry a BOK Fefail because they're the most masculine. Very aggressive, very argumentative. Don't want to listen to nobody except for their nyash. The same nyash men just want to clap cheeks. So when you take a look at that, no one wants to marry you. And why should they? I don't blame any man from any nation, especially the BOK man, for not wanting to pursue BOK Fefails, for not wanting to marry BOK Fefails. Because it's evident that you don't know how to, one, be a wife or act like a feminine woman. And if you can't do that, then what use are you then other than getting your cheeks clapped? So yes. I want to thank every single one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Annie Long. Thank you, Derek BOK. Thank you, Daylord. Thank you to everyone on YouTube. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the people that have joined. Thank you, Wisdom. I see you. Shout out to my moderators. You're all awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. So yeah. Thank you, Miss Sweet. It's good to have you. And yeah, that's my last thoughts. I will be back live. So keep an eye out. Tomorrow I'll be back live. Same time as usual. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate you. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye.